very popular young adult novel series, Kenneth Branagh and Walt Disney Studios. What could possibly go wrong? Hey there guys, Tom here. Welcome back to my movie channel, and thank you very much for joining me for this, my review of the brand new film that's currently on Disney Plus, Artemis Fowl. If you guys haven't been here before, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so that you never miss out on my take on all things movies. So Artemis Fowl, this is Disney's live action adaptation of the book series that I haven't read. I know about the books, but I haven't read any of them, so all I have to go on is what I've seen in this movie. This movie was directed by Kenneth Branagh, and oh lordy, oh wow, this movie's not good. Yep. You know what really bums me out about this film is it's Kenneth Branagh directing it. Kenneth Branagh, aside from being an amazingly talented actor, he is a very good director. This movie feels like it was directed by some kid fresh out of film school who just walked into Disney Studios one day and said, "Can I have a job, please?" And they just handed him Artemis Fowl to adapt. And that's what this movie feels like. It feels like it was directed by a first-time amateur filmmaker. I hate saying that because Kenneth Branagh directed this film and he is no amateur. Now, I'm not going to shit all over the kid who plays Artemis Fowl in this film because, look, honestly, he probably did the best job he could. I do believe this is his first acting gig possibly ever. And I'm all for giving, everyone needs a shot. Everyone needs that first chance to get their big break. And I really feel sorry for this kid. I really do. I've got to be honest, he's not good in the movie. All of his dialogue feels really like jilted or stilted or whatever the word is. It's very rigid the way he talks, and maybe that's the way he was directed to play it. Maybe that's the way the character is. I don't know. I just know that it felt really awkward, and conversations between him and other characters didn't feel like natural, flowing human conversations. It just felt like two actors practicing their lines or reading lines to each other rather than actually acting. Judi Dench, by the way, is in this movie. Oh my God. Wow. Judi Dench. At the beginning of the film, you have Josh Gad, who is being interrogated for a crime. They play it off like, he's telling these police or whatever, about what the movie's about. But really, he's telling the audience, and he basically narrates the entire movie. I've just come to learn over the last couple of years, most movies that I've seen in the last couple of years that have had any sort of narration, the majority of those movies, most of the time, all end up sucking. I don't know what it is. Like, maybe it's a curse. Maybe your movie is kind of doomed to fail if you start with narration. I don't know. I just know that movies lately that I've seen that have had narration have all let me down greatly. This movie, though, takes narration and exposition to like a whole other level. I get there are movies sometimes that, you have a scene that feels really awkward because there's a lot of exposition that happens in that scene. Every movie basically has that, where you have this one scene where it's an exposition dump so that we, the audience, know what's going on with these characters. And that's cool when, some movies do it better than others, and other times you forgive it. You're like, well, it was just that one scene. The rest of the movie's fantastic. Artemis Fowl, this movie is entirely exposition. This film is entirely just characters telling each other about things just so that the audience knows what's going on. You have Josh Gad's narration over the top, like throughout the entire movie, and then you have the characters themselves explaining things to each other. And it just feels like who wrote this script? Was it was it a couple of college kids fresh out of like film school who wrote the script, and Disney were like, sure, let's do that? I don't know. And also, look, I don't know this. I have nothing to back this up with at all. But from what we saw in the trailers and then from what we see in the movie, there was a lot of footage left on the cutting room floor. This movie feels like one of those films like a Suicide Squad or a Batman v Superman or a Fant Four Stick that, the director makes this movie and has a flowing story and all this stuff, and then the studio come in, decide they don't like it, and then chop it up. And they chop it up to the point and they condense it to a point where the movie feels really like heavily studio interfered with. And I don't like using the term studio interference because, studios are paying for it. It's theirs. It's not interfering if you own it. But it really does feel like a film where they just kick the director out, and you can just tell that like this movie is like 94 minutes long. This movie is very incredibly short, and it just feels like it was heavily like truncated. And part of me wants to believe that someone at Disney, kicked Kenneth Branagh out of the editing room and was like, I'll take over, like some studio exec who has no idea about how to make movies at all. And maybe part of that is wishful thinking on my part, just because I'm a huge Kenneth Branagh fan and I don't like to think that he could make a movie that sucks this badly, but it does. I was excited for this film, I thought the trailers looked interesting, aside from the fact that I didn't really know anything about Artemis Fowl or the books or anything, but I was looking forward to the movie, and this movie's been in development hell for I don't know how many years, so it's a wonder this movie even got made in the first place. But look, I can see why, Disney, when they had to reschedule all of their films, were like, that's Artemis Fowl, that's the one that's going to Disney Plus. Yep, that one. Because they didn't care about it. That's why they put it on Disney Plus. They didn't care about it. They knew the movie sucked, because if they thought the movie was any sort of decent quality, they would have released it in theaters so it could make money. But look, if you're interested in seeing Artemis Fowl, check it out. And if you've seen Artemis Fowl and you enjoyed it, that's fantastic. I'm happy for you. I personally didn't. I just think that so much exposition, and the kid's not good, the directing's not good, the writing's really, really poor. Does this movie have any redeeming qualities? I don't know. Some of the CGI was cool, and some of the visuals, otherwise, not really. Anyway, let me know if you've seen Artemis Fowl in the comment section below and what you thought of it. I hope some of you got some enjoyment out of this film, because I obviously wasn't able to get enjoyment out of this movie. But let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so that you never miss out on my take on all things movies. My name is Tom, and I will see you guys next time.